Sorry.
Wake up.
Yeah, I was busy. So, remember that crevasse that we tried to jump in, but we couldn't the previous part? So now I managed to get in, so we're reprising our actions there before continuing, especially because, if I recall correctly, going through here, we're gonna unlock a shortcut that allows us to get here without having to... Oh, more rats. Without having to jump to our doom multiple times.
In our part, it's pronounced crevice.
I don't know. I didn't knew there was a difference. I thought it was generally English. I don't even know if in America they mention it like that. All right.
Crevice, they probably just say butthole.
Sing talisman.
Maybe, I don't know. I'll have to ask. I'll ask Jover and Deji next time I get the chance.
Not enough of a long.
Anyway.
Here you go. Not enough of a long stair to do Snake Eater, but let's open the door.
No. You could do some of it. Snake Eater.
All right. If you forgot, there was a person here that we might have noticed through the door. So let's see. Woman ahead. Therefore, prudence required ahead. Dude. Woman in short time for stabbing in the back. No. Anywhere? Okay.
Who wrote these?
Well, I think they actually are mentioned. No, actually, they're considered anonymous. Anyway, let's talk to this poor soul.
Who is there?
Who wrote those ghastly messages?
Anyone?
It seems that she doesn't seem to notice us.
Please, whoever you are,
And
touch
she wants
me.
for us to touch her hand.
The dark surrounds me, nibbles at my flesh. Little creatures, they never stop biting. So please, hold out your hand and touch me.
Well, sure. I mean, there's no harm in that. Yeah, let's pretend that Teo Something is touching her.
So close, indeed.
Can't quite do it. It's like Final Fantasy XIV.
Yes, exactly. If you just pick the hand, I'm offering you an item. So yeah, this cleric, as you may notice from the dialogue, is blind. But she's actually happy that has found someone who can actually listen to her. Irina of Karim.
I came to this land so that
How do you spell it? Irina.
Your touch has freed me from the darkness. You are a champion, then. I am weak and unfit to tend the flames. But if it would not trouble you, might I enter into your service instead? Oh,
Sure.
Thank you, sweet champion. I shall take my vows.
Well, recently she's been in a few short
solemnly
things, like
swear to serve you.
some shorts called Brutal, the Norberto Method, episodes of Doctors. She was in Demon Souls as former Noble's wife.
Anyway, because of us talking to her, she teleported that she would be at the Firelink Shrine too as a safe place. As a result, let's talk back to Aegon of Karim, the guy with the giant mace that was just outside. He was basically there to protect her.
How very quaint. Pitying creatures that are beyond help.
What is your problem, dude?
Very well. I'm sick of looking after her at any rate. I am Aegon, a knight of Karim.
Yeah, there you go. Aegon, spelled with a E, a Y, and a G-O-N.
And only for that long.
Keep in mind that he means it. If you decide to be frisky and want to kill, the Irina, just if you want around an NPC killing spree, Aegon will become hostile and will invade you multiple times. But thankfully, we are actually better than that. Are we, Lives?
Sorry?
Yes, I'll take that as a yes. Anyway, let's take the time, since we unlocked the shortcut, to explore a bit the crevice, before continuing. Especially because, if I recall correctly, a couple of these have a couple of ambushes from people who jump on you.
A couple of, I don't know, T. I don't want a couple of fucks in this place. I'd rather do it in private. Thank you very much. What are all these monsters looking at me? Like, dude, find a place. Mind your own bloody business.
Titanite shard, and if I recall correctly, a guy jumps on me with this. There we go. There it is.
Alright, I actually have something to say, actually. After months of saving, I finally managed to get my hands on the Godzilla Blu-ray collection.
Well, how much of them is it? It includes? Because I know that it's kind of a bit of a pain in the ass to find one that includes the entire set.
Well, it's not the entire set, but it says it's from the Showa era, and it ranges from 1954 to 1975.
Well, it's basically your first leg then, which is respectable nonetheless, but you're still missing out on all the good stuff.
Yes, there's 15 movies in this pack, ranging from the original in 54 to Terror of Mechagodzilla in 75.
Again, you're still having a lot of good stuff, in there, because, the classic and everything, but a lot of my favorite movie comes from the middle period, like Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Also, I was surprised in the packaging it came in, because when I saw it on Amazon, I thought it was just going to be like in a regular big Blu-ray box set. But no, it comes in this giant book.
Yeah, some of the Godzilla sets do that, where it's actually, it can be opened up, kind of like over the pliant or a book, and it's usually stylized. It's actually pretty cool.
Like the book's got info on all the movies as a book, and then right at the very back, it's got this thicker bit that has the movies in these little sleeves, and they even numbered them so you know what sleeve to put them in when you're done.
That's cool.
It's actually really cool. It's even got artwork embedded in it as well.
And I got a hell red heat, Albert.
That's fun.
You've also noticed that we started running into the skeletons once more. Yeah, again, cannot be a Souls games without those either. We got a loincloth. Thanks, I guess. And there's the statue of the goddess Velka. If you forgot, she's been a presence since the first game, but was sort of a minor player, connected to mostly about forgiveness and Raven, So basically, if Teo Something decides to be very naughty and starts killing NPCs left and right, you can basically just decide to get to this particular shrine and, ask for forgiveness by offering a bunch of souls as tribute. Again, it's a feature that could have been done since the first game, so it's nothing new. It's just a matter of finding it, basically.
Yeah, it consists of 8 discs, and the 8th disc is special because it contains what sounds like the most awesome Godzilla film of all time, supplements.
Wow.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, it's a secret Godzilla movie. It's about the health supplements Godzilla takes before he wreaks havoc on the city.
Okay, do I have a bow and arrow?
And it's probably just a bunch of special features.
Yes, I do have. I did forgot genuinely that I have bow and arrow. So let me put this.
Is there actually a movie where it's just the main character taking like supplement powder or something?
No, the closest instead you get is the aforementioned Godzilla vs. Megalon, which involves fighting a giant scarab from basically under the earth, but in assistance of Godzilla, less red and white shield +1, in assistance of Godzilla comes a human doctor that pilots the most amazing anti-kaiju robot ever, Jet Jaguar.
Jet Jaguar.
The movie is basically a 10 out of 10 just for that. It even involves a scene in which Jet Jaguar has to hold up physically Megalon from behind, and Godzilla does a drop kick flying in the air using the tail for actually steering. It has to be seen to be believed.
And as for and Godzilla vs. King Kong is also included on it. Although I'm
the more recent one, because they did
the original.
No. Sure.
And I'm assuming it's the American cut because from what I've looked into, the original Japanese version, up until really recently, wasn't looked after very well.
It's also because it be, each version became essentially a pissing contest between the countries to the point where towards the end, even the ending is slightly changed to make one or the other kaiju win. Anyway, that's back where we started the last time, the road of sacrifices. So let's proceed forward to this. Compared to the village before, it's still a bit murky, but there's a bit more clarity in where we're supposed to go. It's a bit less intricate. Although it's populated by these beings who scream a lot and love to, have wings popped out their backs. It's basically like the ending of that fucking animated Hunchback of Notre Dame movie. I keep forgetting which version is that. I don't know if you ever saw it, Shiri, but don't because it's bad. But that's basically one of its twists. It basically
Like the Disney movie?
no. It's actually one of the bootlegs. It basically during the climax, it involves Frollo actually physically pushing down from Notre Dame Quasimodo, but the twist is that inside the Hunchback there were two wings, and Quasimodo springs them and starts flying.
What?
I know! It's bad.
Hate that.
But again, and
If I found out I was on a road called the Road of Sacrifices, I'd probably take a detour.
And it's not even, and as far as I remember, it's not even the Good Times jet lag version. Pedro does know exactly which version is that, but I did instead caught it up on TV when it was broadcasted. Again, it's horrible. Alright, let's... Well, I mean, they're also kind of stylized with the sight, so they're pretty cool, actually. However, as you can see, my Uchigatana can still make mincemeat out of them, even wielding it one hand. The higher-ups of these particular enemies, these crow humanoid hybrids, these guys with a scepter which can perform a couple of magic, including a poison cloud or a fireball. However, they're not as resilient anyway. So let's see.
Also, speaking of classic things from the 60s, I have thankfully found that basically last year a group called Network made a Blu-ray set for an old Jerry Anderson puppet show called Stingray that came before Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet. Unfortunately, they went bust, and as a result, prices of copies that were out there skyrocketed. And bear in mind, remember, the set only came out last year. Thankfully, ITV themselves, who the channel was made on, are re-releasing it in about a month, and it's at a thankfully much more reasonable price of about 40 quid.
This was actually, talking briefly about that, previously before commenting. I might have actually heard about this show, but I don't know if I actually saw it that much.
For those who don't know, it's basically a show set on one of those attack submarines.
Yeah, is Stingray the code name for the vehicle, if I recall correctly?
Pretty much, I think. Yeah, but it's been a while. In terms of like the all those shows that I have seen, Stingray's the one I've probably seen the least. I mean, it hasn't even got a it hasn't even had like a modern day remake like Captain Scarlet or Thunderbirds.
Anyway, as another throwback, we fought an enemy which had a set very similar to the cannibal that invaded us in the first game in Blighttown. We even get, her weapon, the butcher's knife, which requires a lot of strength to wield, with an utterly large blade wielded by the mad woman hunting the road of sacrifices. Back in the undead settlement, the woman acquired taste for human flesh, of which she took glee in partaking. It's always like that with cannibalism. It only takes one step wrong and people start getting into the human jerky. let's also get this, the Brigand set, which probably should give it a try in between parts to see. Praise of Secret Passage, give it up. And the Brigand Twin Daggers. If I recall correctly, they are a fun weapon, but the Uchigatana for the time being is still better. We're gonna get a better weapon later on, so don't worry about that. These pair of daggers are a preferred weapon of the Brigands of a distant land. When two-handed, the wielder holds a blade in each hand, allowing for divergent attacks that includes left-handed moves. Again, it will take... Well, it is possible in this. It will take until Elden Ring to properly have a decent type of moveset that involves dual wielding, including having two different weapons if you have enough stats to carry them. So up until then, you're still relatively limited in what you do. Let's see, if I get back up here, where does it leave me? Oh, more bird people. I probably need to raise my stamina bar. It's been shockingly low for the time being. No, I don't need to jump back here. I'll need to move. Over the bridge. If I recall correctly, I'm getting a sort of a mini ambush with this. Yeah, because the priest bird is actually spewing poison cloud while the others are attacking me, so let's instead bait this guy. Go. Let's also drink a bit. If I recall correctly, there's also the problem that one of these guys has red eyes, meaning that it can be very dangerous. Again, as a general reminder, enemies with red eyes are more aggressive and inflict more damage. They're just put there to have an extra mob that can fuck you over. Fuck. There we go. Alright, so now let's deal with the priest. First this guy. There you go. And we also get an ember. Cool.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Will you kindly fall off the ledge?
Alright, in here, if I recall correctly, yes, there is a bonfire and two NPCs that we can talk to. So it's pretty cool. Let's first set it up. And then let's go talk to first the knight that's resting.
Oh, hello. How do you do? I am Anri of Astora.
Anri of Astora.
Like you.
She's even having the Astora set.
And
her friend there is called Horace. They're also traveling the road to sacrifice to search for someone.
We are well along the road of sacrifices. Below us is the crucifixion woods. Beyond the woods,
interesting fact, just letting you know a bit right now. Anri voice, because the character can have either male or female voice, but the character will have a voice actor that is the opposite of the gender of the character that you choose in the beginning.
One may find the other in a time of need.
There is a particular reason, but I will not mention it yet. But again, as a general plot, Anri is very gentle, cooperative, and asks people to help. And as a result, both Anri and Horace will be able to be summoned a couple of times.
She's an upstanding, kind-hearted knight.
What's his character's name again? No one told me.
Anri, spelled with an A-N-R-E. Keep in mind, remember, Glimpse, as I said, the character can have both a male or a female voice actor, so, you might want to check what either of them are. Also, just for a gag, let's talk a bit with Horace for a second to hear what he has to say. Brilliant. And he gives us the Covenant of the Blue Sentinel. That's because poor Horace actually had his tongue cut out These two, it's not super apparent, but again, it's not super apparent, but their part of their backstory involves that, you know, they were actually heavily, you know, not mutilated, but, you know, heavily tortured because they were part of a group that was given to these ritual sacrifices, but it will have to be shown as it happens, because like I said, this is, I think I mentioned during one of the earlier parts that this is the game that starts to introduce properly a bit the JRPG concept of religion equals evil cult that fucks over people. And for a setting like the ones of, you know, Dark Souls, you can imagine it's not very pleasant.
Well, male Henry is voiced by Adam Sopp, who's mainly known for being the video game voice for Harry Potter for the last few ones in that series. Female Henry is voiced by Lucy Briggs Owen, who's been in Bloodborne, and more recently A Plague Tale Requiem, where she played Beatrice.
Huh, cool. Anyway, in this place you may notice that there are a couple of people with big sticks that they try to use as spears. Again, on their own they're perfectly easy to actually deal with, but their strategy will be very soon you will see the strength in number. So if you start having to deal with a couple of them at the same time, you might have a problem. Also, while not poisonous, there is a swamp, which, sure, at the very least...
We don't swim in there.
Yeah, no, again, the general rule of these games is that the poor salt that we control is not able to swim.
Is Shrek around?
You might want to prefer him over what is in the here, but you will see. Ow.
I mean, the bar isn't that high, because Shrek's, like, you know, quote-unquote biggest crime is him wanting people to leave him the fuck alone.
Apparently that's a bad thing. Because,
no,
shut up.
Instead we have if I recall correctly, it's gonna show up very soon because it has a very, 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 you know, intense aggro range. Where is it? I think it's just chillaxing in the background. Oh, don't worry, we will see it soon enough, so I'll be able to tell you about whomst I'm referring to. I think there's also a couple of invasion here. You can also be invaded. It's also a good spot for, and not NPC, but the actual player invasion, so we might want to watch out from them. Okay, let's try it again. There you go. Thankfully, these are also easy to backstab. Oh, camera, please. Oh, there it is. I wanna try to not attract his attention. I'm gonna try to be like Bear Grylls, so let me try to use the binoculars to highlight him. Where is it? It's a bit hard to notice. Fuck, the perspective. But yes, this game introduces giant enemy crabs. I don't know what they're doing in a swamp, but we have giant enemy crabs. Here's your pro tip: don't. They're intended to be killable only with endgame type of, you know. Oh fuck! I'm being invaded. Faro Mietitore. Oh, I think this is a. Oh god, this is a player. Oh my god, I did not need this.
We call that streaming.
I mean, I guess, again, like you said, it's fascinating that people are still, you know, playing this version, because usually the meta is on the PC, not the PS4. So pretty cool actually. But okay, I'm gonna try to pass through without having to use the Ember. If I recall correctly, that should stop the invasion. That particular color of the Phantom is reflective of another Covenant that we might find in the far future, but not now. And yeah, as you can see, Henri and Horace have left. Actually, I'm gonna use this time to actually gather back my souls and actually go back to the Firelink Shrine to talk to a couple of people while I'm at it. Especially because I probably will have enough to actually level up the stamina. At least on one tick. There it is. Alright, there we are. Let me just pop up. Alright, there we go. Alright, let's see if there are new people to talk with, for example, like this person. Let's see her.
You're an unkindled, aren't you? I am Cirrus, of the Sunless
Cirrus,
Realms,
of
former
the
servant
Sunless
the
Realms.
deity. Duties we each bear, but one's duty is a solitary affair. I doubt we've much to gain from fraternization.
I don't remember what her questline is supposed to be because this is one NPC that I rarely manage to find, so I don't remember what we're supposed to do to continue see her. So this might be a once in a lifetime thing. Well, considering she mentions the moon she might be tied to the Dark Moon Covenant. We'll see, we'll see. In this corner, we're able to find the Maiden of Astora that we rescued.
Welcome back. I was not meant to be a firekeeper.
She was actually supposed to be trained to be a firekeeper, but for the time being, these are all that is not needed
My
from her.
gratitude lies with them and with
She's
you.
voiced by Lily Flynn.
I am yours now. Your wish is my command.
Check.
We can learn some miracles, but again, we don't really need it. Also has one item to sell, one ring. One cool thing that she... Hold on, let me just get away from her.
All these additional voices in Chicken Run Dawn of the Nugget.
The cool thing about her is that you will find sporadically in the world Braille tomes, and if you give it to her, she'll be able to decode her and teach you spells that can be learned only through that. So, and also that. Hi, Grey Rat.
Oh, hello, you're back. And in one piece. Well, now it's time I do my part, huh?
Yeah, if you forgot, we found Loreta's bone in 2 parts ago, so let's give it back to him.
Heavens.
That was the woman he
She
was
was
actually
already
searching
dead.
for.
Thank you. I'm not surprised.
Although he's taking it decently
Almost
well.
a relief, really.
It's not deeming us responsible. You think
You
he
can
would
keep the
go
ring.
down the route of, oh, you
As-
actually killed her, oh, you were not able to save. No, Grey Rat is very
Trinket of
understanding.
thanks, I suppose.
But,
It happens, I guess.
yeah,
You
well,
can keep
Grey
the
Rat
ring.
being, you know,
As-
someone who has to grow up from the lower part of society
A little
and
trinket of
having
thanks,
to be a thief
I
to
suppose.
survive, probably understands more about humanity than, you know, than anything. But this also opens up a bit more his quest line, where in the future he will be able to try to scout ahead in some areas and find trinkets so that he can sell them back to us. And if I recall correctly, yes. If you remember, that pilgrim that we saved allowed us to actually perform a couple of levels, no strings attached. I managed to do that enough times, this is not prompting the dialogue, but if you do that and then return here at this point, he's dead. And in his place there's this woman. So let's talk to her.
Oh, prithee, art thou good Yols?
Well, she seems to know what is up.
I am Yuria of Londor, a close
Yuria
friend
of
his.
Londor.
Thanks to thee, Yol's soul is redeemed. Allow me to express my gratitude in his stead.
She gives us a gesture, the dignified bow.
Another matter. That a lord art thou not? Bearer of the dark sigil, and our Lord of Hollows. For the time thou remainst our lord, we of Londor shall serve thee. And I, of course, am also thine.
Good to know.
That a lord art thou not, bearer for the... And I...
Let's see what... If I recall correctly, she sells the same thing that Yoel sold, plus a couple of, you know, extra stuff, like a purging stone in case, you know, we have curse, if I recall correctly, poison throwing knives, and a couple of rings that, you know, gives us the ability of changing our, you know, our shape for PvP purposes, but we don't need them.
Till we meet again. May the dark sigil guide thee.
Sure, whatever you said. Let's see, up above. Oh no, I don't need to actually install my weapons yet. I don't even have enough to, so let's get back up. If I recall correctly, one thing that I obtained in between parts is a key. Let me see if I can showcase it to you. Yes, the tower key. Key to the decrepit tower behind Firelink Shrine, which leads to the Bell Tower. The Bell Tower is the grave of Firekeeper's past. When a Firekeeper has served her purpose, she is led into true darkness, where she enjoys a long-deserved sleep. That's kinda grim, but let's see. There's also a giant from Dark Souls 2. Which periodically produces a seed of a giant tree, which are PvP items. But yeah, it's another neat callback that is present from the second game. Again, Miyazaki did not ignore it deliberately, so that's pretty cool. And if we use it, we enter here. Let's move up.
Yeah, I mean, unless it makes sense in the context of the story, ignoring things just because it's not popular is a bit...
Again, many people speculated that because it was involved only very tangentially, he might have, you know, avoided it outright or, you know, ignored it for the most part, but no, he actually was a good sport. Some things were not retained 100%, but again, it was more understandable than anything. And it's still relatively well integrated, if you ask me. Oh yeah, this voice. I didn't even talk much about these guys. In each Souls game, there are invisible crow babies, crow chickens, which, if you leave an item, then reset the game, they will exchange it to something else. And there's an entire, not questline, but you know, there's an entire set of items that it's best to be traded this way. As in, you know, you give, for example, rubbish, and they will give you in return a relatively decent kind of item. So it's always interesting to give it a try, but I personally don't particularly care for them. It's still cute, especially because they also have weird names and they have very squeaky voice actors. And if we pass through here, if I recall correctly, we're on the upper parts of the Firelink Shrine, which, if I recall correctly, gives us another chance to talk to the crow. Yeah, which are called Pickle Pea Pumparam, Dr. Seuss took over? What the hell? Let me see, if I recall correctly. No, okay, I'm supposed to just go there. I was trying to remember if there was something else that I was forgetting, but no. If we drop here, there we go. Huh. Someone has already taken this. Oh, maybe. Oh, I get it. I think it's because I already been there in between parts, just taking a different route. My bad. Anyway, let me just get. If I recall correctly, I have. No, I don't think I have the item. Let's see. No, I don't have the Undead Bone Shard. If you forgot, the Undead Bone Shard is an item that allows us to make our Estus more powerful, as in, you know, it gives us more health with each one that we consume. Yeah, also this, the firing shrine is this kind of a problem where sometimes the exit or the entrance have a fog gate because they're taking a bit of time to load the area. It happens. But as far as I know, again, the PC version works just fine, but if I recall correctly, on PS5, the version actually loads much faster. I don't know if the PS5 version unlocks 60 frames per second, but I know that the PC version is that by default if your PC is powerful enough. Anyway, let's enter here. This is just a simple bridge and an elevator, so let's take it. And we get to the higher parts of the tower, where we find a Firekeeper soul. That's kind of unique. It's been a while since we actually noticed them. Let's see what it is. Soul of a Firekeeper who is said to have returned from the Abyss. This Firekeeper preserves the bonfire and serves its champion. She is said to have soothed and accepted the Dark Sigil, which has tainted her soul, and yet her soul will one day embed itself in the bosom of another Firekeeper. So it's another representation of the endless cycle of the world. This item is useful if you wanna backtrack to some degree on some choices. For intents and purposes, we don't need it. It was just, you know, a neat way to check it out. And yeah, there is a way to actually get down here, but for the time being we're not gonna do it because just say it's a bit too high for now. Maybe we'll come back in the future, maybe not, who knows, it depends on the circumstances. For the time being, there we go. Let's get back to where we were and try to move a bit forward.
Does this game have a bad ending?
Well, okay, that's it. I know that it's kind of a cop-out of an answer to this, but depends on your point of view.
I meant like, not like bad as in bad quality, I meant like...
Yeah,
Bad,
bad alignment, as in, you know, everything dies or something. I cannot really tell you, but I don't think so. I can tell you that Elden Ring has a couple, not just one, a couple of very bad endings. Because Elden Ring has multiple endings, something like 6 or 7 if I recall correctly, in total. And they're kind of a spectacle in their own right, even if they're simple, because they really are rewarding the actions that you perform throughout the game, compared to just a binary choice that can be presented to you at the end.
Is there an ending where the world blows up?
Close, but I will not tell you.
I mean, Beneath the Planet of the Apes exists, so
yeah. Okay, I can tell you this with
spoilers.
I can tell you this without context. there is an ending that can be achieved by T-posing very hard enough. No, I'm not joking.
Huh.
That's the best ending.
Arguably, yes, Shiroi. It's even regarded as one of the best endings in terms of morality because of, you know, what it's achieved with that. So I do wonder if Miyazaki was in with the joke or something. Alright, let's see. Here. So this guy. Alright, if I recall correctly, we will actually have to pass through this lovely swamp, which is thankfully, once again, not poisonous. I must stress that. But I wanted to try to avoid the giant enemy crabs because, as mentioned, we are not really ready for them yet. Also,
I've not seen any endings from the... Oh, sorry.
Just to mention, returning from the second game, we have the black fungus crustaceans that move. Go on, Shiroi.
I've not seen any endings from Elden Ring, but a delight is to watch Elden Ring with crowd control.
Also, there are these guys with crucifixes behind their backs, and they're very hostile, as you can see. They also have their eyes, almost all of them have their eyes glowing, so they're always, you know, something you have to watch out for, unless, you know, you're prepared. Thankfully, again, we're susceptible to bleeding, so our Uchigatana comes very in handy with this. Does not open from this side. Oh well. Here we get a bit of a peek of a dungeon that's down below here, which is shrouded with trees. Up here we have a sellsword set, which is another light type of set. And there's a black knight down there. Let's see, can I actually move? Let's see if I can ambush him, but I don't think so. Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting down. Fuck!
Who's hunting again?
I was trying to backstab. So inconsiderate.
Well, that's what you get for trying to stab someone in the back.
Well, I still managed to do it once, so...
I just shoot them in the back. It's faster. I mean, they won't even know that that I shot them in the back because they'd be dead.
Again, Waves, we have to wait for Bloodborne to have guns, and even then the guns are fairly useful. They're mostly used for stunning people.
I was on more about my Red Faction playthrough.
Of course.
Have you seen that, Shuri?
I think...
Seen what, sorry?
My Red Faction playthrough for the channel.
No.
As a franchise, it's basically a shooter, sci-fi shooter set on Mars. You were able to... Fuck!
And I was a maniac.
The idea is that you're guiding a revolt of miners, which are, you know, being, you know, overworked by the evil company. Again, classic setting for a sci-fi. And you're mostly armed to the teeth in order to actually lead the revolt. Not lead the revolt, but be very helpful to them. Thing is that Dwibs took that a bit to the letter because, you know, you enjoyed this role as an anarchist a bit too much.
I was killing everybody I saw, almost.
Including non-hostile NPCs.
And I was justifying it because I felt that they were complicit in the actions of the guards by not doing anything about it.
But to be honest, Waves, I don't even know what kind of results would have been if you ever would have turned out if you ever decided to play Disco Elysium. Because that game has a way of basically telling that you suck no matter, you know, what alignment you choose. So...
Yeah. Also, I should mention also, Red Faction 2 has different endings depending on your morality.
Of course. Although, if I recall correctly, in terms of continuity, there is only one that's kept through when it comes to Guerrilla. within Refaction Guerrilla. Again, it's not a series with super continuity. If I recall correctly, a couple of elements from the first game are carried over into the second Guerrilla. Like the protagonist of the first game shows up, if I recall correctly, in Guerrilla, but
he's old.
Yeah, it's set distantly. And even then, now the Embracer group is not really taking advantage that much of the IP, unfortunately.
A picture of him in Gorilla and damn, Parker has he looks quite different.
Is he voiced by the same voice? Okay, yeah, it is
no.
Not by the same voice actor, okay. Oh. Thankfully also the mushroom, the black mushroom, you know, fungus crustacean things from the second game returning here do not spew poison, you know, acid cloud that, you know, destroy your equipment all the time, so I'm actually thankful for that. Alright, let's give it another try. Let's see if this time we can backstab. I don't think he... okay, he did not notice me. Let's see... Come on...
And from what I understand, Gorilla also takes a different approach as a third-person shooter, apparently.
I don't know the details, Waves. If I recall correctly, maybe... One thing that I may remember is that, you know, it's a bit more open. You know, not open world completely, but a bit more sandbox. The way it's structured. Okay, let's see fighting here. Fuck! Okay, more step. There we go. Down you go. Alright, let's see what the Black Knight was protecting, shall we? Let's see, there are two corpses here. One has the Sellsword Twin Blades, which go well with the set that we looted upstairs. And in the bottom here, we have, let's see what the messages say. Try jumping. Very funny. Illusory wall required ahead. Because otherwise that would be a shortcut, yeah. And here we have the Pharaoh Coal. You can give these to the blacksmith at the Firelink Shrine, and you'll be able to perform more infusion. Let's actually give it a look. Coal used for weapon infusion. Long ago used to forge the great swords of the undead legion of Pharaoh. It is a blacksmith in a shrine to allow the use of gems for heavy, sharp, and poison infusion. So yeah, collecting these will allow us to potentially enchant the weapons in different ways. We don't really need it, but it's just neat for an option. So actually let me use this to actually get to the bonfire of the Firelink Shrine. We'll go talk to the blacksmith to give him this, and we'll call it a day after leveling up our stats. Why not? It's more of a consolidation part, and we're proceeding a bit slower compared to Dark Souls 2, but it's for the better. Especially because up ahead we're gonna have a relatively difficult boss fight.
'Tis good to see ye in good health. What needs smithing?
Let's give him the coal.
Oh,
go.
My. This coal is from the Undead Legion, used to forge the weapons of Farron's Abyss Watchers.
You forgot that the Abyss Watchers are some of the people that woke up in the beginning cutscene, part of the people of the Lords of Cinder, so we're inevitably gonna run into them because those are some of the people when we had to catch up and tell them to sit on the throne.
So this is what Wolverine would look like if he aged.
Not really. I've read Old Man Logan, and he doesn't really look like that. He's not
really.
Super
I've seen the movie Logan, and Wolverine still looks pretty good.
but not as bulky, and it doesn't have, you know, that long of a hairdo. The original comic also is, as I told you, Lives is more fucked up, but it's a story for another.
Yeah, and Logan's pretty fucked up in and of itself.
Trust me, Lives, when I say this, the comic is worse.
So I was watching the toned down version, even though it was rated R.
The comic is written by Mark Millar, who notoriously is an asshole when it comes to writing stuff, and writes very, very, you know, edgelord material. I still like Old Man Logan at the end of the day, but man, it still is, you know, potentially very hard as a read. To give you an idea, one of the central plot points is the idea that the concept at the base is that what if every major Earth villain, Marvel villain, teamed up to conquer the world, and then, you know, split the spoils, and thus we get a sequence where the Red Skull, you know, the leader of the Hydra, the extra Nazis, because you cannot even have the regular one, it has to be extra, of course, invades Washington and kills Captain America, with his last line towards him being, well, today there is no God, just me. Classy, Mark. At the very least, it has been used to be exploitable for some memes, but jeez, again, the original is just a hard read. Anyway, we're done with this, so tune in for the next part where we continue our, you know, journey towards the road of sacrifice, and we'll see if we'll actually have to fight the giant enemy crab or not. So see you for that.
Bye.
See ya.